No. After Claude, there was a plastic Man City fan that they all ripped apart on Fan Park Live.
Oh no, I'd left by then. I literally came on
Oh,
for your call and left straight away afterwards.
no,
Then talk.
there was an 18-year-old guy who lives in London who claims he's a Man City fan who has never visited Manchester.
Oh,
and
come
they asked,
on.
and the only player he could name was Robinho.
Robinho. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
There's got to be a troll.
No, he was serious. They ripped Terry and even Adam. Even Adam looked smarter than this guy. That's how bad he was.
Nah, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Even Adam looked sensible compared to this guy. That's how bad he was.
How sick! How sick!
Shut the hell up, Dan.
Oh, not DT. Not DT. Not a good week.
How sick!
Not a good week for DTing.
If you boycott and you only get tourists coming to matches, the atmosphere will be much worse than it already is. Sponsors and television will pull out, and they'll lose big chunks of money, and the club can't afford that.
I mean, he has a point there, but still.
No, you need to be careful, I think, because Kroenke just doesn't care. Like, even if a sponsor's pulled out, like, he's still not putting money into the club, so he's not gonna care.
But to me, it's like,
yeah, no.
How?
But the only thing you're doing is affecting Arsenal's bank. You're not affecting his because he doesn't put money into it.
But what's the answer then? What's the answer?
That's kind of my thing, Tony. So if we just protest on, I don't know. I mean, it's a complicated issue because of how financially fucked we are. Because if we want to rebuild the squad and actually have money in the summer, we need the club to have revenue in order to spend and be better on the pitch. And if we're not doing that, if we're not putting the money in the club's just going to be fucked, and it's just going to be like, one of those hunger strikes, We're basically hunger striking Arsenal.
If before financial fair play, Kroenke had put some money in, you'd think fair enough. He's tried. We're tired. No, our hands are tired. But we're the only club in the top 6 that have had zero investment from our owner. If we drop points against Huddersfield at the weekend, we're in deep crap.
We're not dropping points against fucking Huddersfield.
Hey, I'll put nothing past our club anymore.
Huddersfield! Get the fuck out of here!
I'm being serious. Nothing will surprise me anymore.
Chelsea just lost 4-0 to Bournemouth. They trash Huddersfield 5-0. Huddersfield are done. They're not playing anymore. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, of course I'm saying we'll probably win, but I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me if we drop points.
Nah.
Plus, our away record hasn't been the best this season.
Not Huddersfield. Listen, if you said Southampton, I'd say yeah. If you said Burnley, nah, we might. Newcastle, we might. Brighton, we might. Huddersfield, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Huddersfield are just too shit. They're just.
I'm just saying if it did happen, all hell would break loose. You think I'm unleashed now? You'd want to see me after that game.
Fucking hell! I mean, there would be riots at the Emirates, like legit riots.
And I'd be leading them.
Tony throwing packs of donuts at people.
I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling you. You think I'm not even joking. All jokes and banter aside, you think I'm unleashed now? If we drop points against Huddersfield, I will be 10 times worse than I am now. Just think of that. Just try and think 10 times worse than what I am now.
You'll be spraying gasoline again.
My head will explode.
Honestly, you come in the chats and you start spraying gasoline and you're not even paying attention to where you're spraying the fucking gasoline.
That's the thing. When I see red, I just don't see anything else, man.
Yeah, but that's what happens with you. Like every single time we play like shit or lose or draw or it's some result that shouldn't be happening, there goes Tony on an emotional take that he doesn't really mean, but then will not realize it until like 6 hours later, where it's fuck. Why did I say that?
That's the difference here. Adam is always deluded. There's no excuses. I think his personality is just delusion. Me, I only go on emotional rant. Obviously, it's a bit like when you're angry in general life. Yeah, you might do something you regret, and then afterthought, you might think, I shouldn't have done that. You understand what I'm saying?
I know, yeah, but
when you calm down. So, like, I go on the rant because obviously I'm so annoyed when our great club is doing the crap we're doing, especially after a loss where, do you know what, I'm not being deluded. We were going to lose to City, so I'm not saying we should have won. We knew we were going to lose. But the performance as well was poor. Mustafi was a disgrace yesterday. He was a flipping disgrace.
Have you seen the picture
Yeah.
I mean, how is that a professional footballer?
Yeah.
How can
that's schoolboy error. Schoolboy error.
He was 7 yards behind the fucking line.
Mustafi is a World Cup winner, and he's making that mistake.
That's my point, man. That was my point when I was telling you about Ozil in that team. Like, there were so many players in that team that were made to look a lot better than they actually. I'm not saying Ozil doesn't have technical skill, but as sort of team players within that structure, they were made to look like world-class players when they actually have pronounced flaws.
And you cannot deny that on his day, at his best, Ozil is one of the best passers of the ball in the game.
Yeah, but again, when Mesut Ozil camps for Germany in the pockets of space, you know who's getting him the ball? Toni Kroos.
No, I know. I understand that, but look
at Arsenal. You know who's getting him the ball at Arsenal? Even the fucking Xhaka.
No, but even Cristiano Ronaldo, even he said, I think about a week after we signed Ozil from Real Madrid, Ronaldo was like, I didn't want Ozil to go. Like, there's no one that can replace Ozil for me. That was quoting Ronaldo.
Oh, it hurt his stats so badly. I mean, sorry. No, I don't want to make fun of that quote, but
I'm just quoting. I mean, I'm just quoting.
Look at his stats. I mean, like, yeah, sure. Ozil might have played some great balls in, but then again, he got Toni Kroos that summer. He lost Ozil. He got Kroos.
But you cannot deny that Mesut Ozil at Real Madrid was one of the best midfielders in the world.
Yeah, and he was one of the best midfielders in the world until the 2015-16 season, where he peaked for Arsenal, and from then on, it was just a downward spiral.
Yeah, no one's denying that. No one's denying that.
And particularly appearances. When you look at his league appearances, and it's all just due to injuries. I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about with Wenger, where if he was fit, he's starting every game.
Yeah, sure. And another thing, sorry, I've got to do this. Yeah, I know you love the guy. Iwobi was disgusting yesterday.
No, I don't. I told you, I don't fucking love the guy. Why does everyone assume I love the guy because I say he's a decent squad player?
He was disgusting yesterday. Iwobi's performance was a mess yesterday.
My only point with Iwobi is don't trash the guy because he's being put in a position that's he cannot do that. Like, people expect Alex Iwobi to be one of the first names on the team sheet and be our best winger, and he's not capable of that. It's just simple facts. He's a third winger. He's a squad player.
See, in my opinion, at the end of the season, when I think we've spoke about this before, when Reece Nelson comes back, I think Reece Nelson will be used as a potentially backup winger. And I personally think Iwobi could possibly go on loan or be sold, seeing as though Reece Nelson will be back.
Yeah, but we need people for we still need people for registration rules, and you also need some actual decent depth. And when you look at it, Iwobi can do a job against the bottom half of the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's my point with him being a squad player. Like, he's not. When you play him against Man City, he looks like shit. When you play him against Bournemouth, he looks like Ivo Bino. You know.
But like everyone, I've heard a few people on like Twitter and on the AFTV giving Aubameyang stick. They didn't get the service. They didn't do nothing yesterday because they weren't getting the service.
But that's the thing. Like, Emery tactically got it spot on because we played the same way Crystal Palace played. Low block 4-4-2 and let's counter. And for the majority,
we were still missing some creativity there. I'd rather us started Ramsey over Iwobi, personally.
Yeah, but for the first part, for the major part of the first half, we were actually quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked, but just our defense is so trash that they make these schoolboy errors, and like now people can see how much Bellerin means and how much Socrates means.
And sorry, but why did he? I would have started Mavropanos yesterday. I'd have just taken the risk.
I have no idea. I would have started
Mavropanos. Why are you starting Mustafi when you got Mavropanos as fit?
I just hope to not see Lichtsteiner and Mustafi ever.
The difference is, look, Lichtsteiner, I'm not making excuses. Lichtsteiner's been poor for the majority of the time with us here. But the guy's old. Like, we shouldn't have expected so much from a guy who's in his mid-30s. You're not going to get much out of the guy. He's had his best days. It's been like Czech. He's had his best days. We weren't going to get the best out of him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he was signed as a locker room guy.
Yeah, and he was a free transfer. Transfer. So when Juventus letting a player run out their contract, you know he's had his days.
Yeah, he was signed as a locker room guy. He wasn't supposed to play this much.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a big personality. He's a commander. Yeah. He's a respected footballer. Like, he might not have had the best time with us, but he's won things in his career, the highest level.
But see, you make that point with Lichtsteiner, and that's kind of my thing with Iwobi when people smash him the way you were smashing him yesterday. I'm like, man, don't do that. I mean, he's a homegrown kid who tries very hard, and he's clearly a squad player. Like, don't. Yeah. Like, that's my point. The Man United. I didn't see a single Man United fan bash Jesse Lingard yesterday for repeatedly tripping over the ball the entire game.
Yeah, but my main issue with Emery, is the fact that we had Ozil, Ramsey, and Denis Suarez all available, and we picked Iwobi against Man City.
Yeah, because he gives you the most work rate out of all those guys. He does make the silly mistakes, like he cost us a goal, but he'll buzz around. Well,
he was partly to blame for the third as well.
Yeah, but my point is, like, he's gonna buzz around and he's gonna track back and he's gonna put in a shift. And like, to me, the only other option realistically was play Ramsey,
which isn't a bad shout. Why didn't we play Ramsey?
I don't know. I guess his contract. I have no idea.
We all know it's a sealed deal. Ramsey's going in the summer. Get the most out of him before he goes.
True, but I don't. That's the only part of the lineup I don't get. I mean, I understood the obviously the idea to clog the right side of City's attack. Obviously, put Kolasinac and match him up with Walker. The left side, I guess, there was an idea of having Iwobi try and attack the left side of City's defense because they're a bit vulnerable at left back.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the thing. I think Emery was angling for pace, and that's why he picked Iwobi ahead of Ramsey.
Yeah.
And that was the idea. But our biggest problem is we generally don't have pace in the team. Iwobi's not, like, our fastest player is Aubameyang, and he's a center forward. Iwobi's not even a pace-based winger. He's a technical winger. The Rand Boys Podcast.
Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal!
Fantastically.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt.
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt because you.
You've got a sore
It's
voice.
time to go.
Don't interrupt. Look at you. Can't even
Time
speak.
to go.
You can't even speak. So don't interrupt
And
me.
even when I can't speak, I speak more sense than you fucking ever do.
What are you swearing for? What are you swearing for?
It's time to go.
What are you swearing for?
Get it
What are you
out
swearing
of
for?
your fucking head.
I think even Pochettino's more passionate about Arsenal than Gronkia.
Like he's not owning, he's just sitting on his ass and waiting for the money to drip. Hi and welcome to another edition of the Rant Boys podcast. Here with me,
About my who? About my what?
about my gang. As always, my man Tony.
So what should I call you? Should I call you Bullet, Tooth?
You can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
Tony.
And our Welsh correspondent, Dan.
Put on the same sheet, man. Chill out.
The mid's right.
I'm not a Mick. I'm bloody Welsh.
Whatever.
Tony,
Hey.
take us away.
So the first thing is, of course, it's another sad story we have to begin with. It's the update on Emiliano Sala. I'm sure most of you heard yesterday, that's Sunday, the 3rd of February. The update was that the plane has been found in the seabed of the Channel, and there's an update this morning that they've also found a body inside the plane. It's not sure whose body it is, but a body has been found, and I'm sure, as other people have said, it's a little bit of closure for the family. Of course, it's still painful. It's not the news we wanted him found alive, but yeah. So at least they can have a bit of closure, and hopefully, if Izzy's body, they can do a proper burial and grieve.
Yeah, it's terrible news, but let's hope that the family can have closure and that obviously we can all, as football fans, as a big football family, give Emiliano Sala a hero send-off that he deserves for just being a generally nice human and a great footballer and a great person, first and foremost, and that came to the fore most when you just read all the articles that came out since this terrible tragedy about the Nantes fans and how the people at Cardiff they knew him for a short time, but he was just very gracious, a very nice, generous, giving person, a kind of a down-to-earth guy, and just hopefully the family gather some strength from the unity of football fans around this tragedy.
I completely agree. Do you have any words to say, Dan?
Yeah, I obviously it's sad news, and I mean, at least it gives closure to the family, I guess. But it's not what we all wanted. Let's be honest. We all clinging on to the last bit of hope. But I'm quite proud to be part of this football community, though, because I mean we raising like 350,000, I think, to call on the search.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone binded together to try and help the cause, and it's bringing like positivity, but not positivity. What's the word? It's like bringing
the humanity side of football.
Yeah, in such a dark and sad time.
Yeah, we've all come together as one to hope for the best and give his family the support they need.
Yeah.
Can I also say as well, a big shout out to Kylian Mbappe. I read somewhere that he apparently donated, I think it's either £20,000 or £28,000 to the private search.
Yeah,
I saw that. It apparently he donated 28,000 twice. So
yeah. So big shout out to Kylian Mbappe there. Huge respect.
Mbappe, and I heard Adrien Rabiot as well.
Huge respect to them. Of course, that we've all touched on. It's obviously it'd have been perfect if we'd have found him alive. So it isn't the ideal news, but at least the family now can have a bit of closure and do a proper, respectable send off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our thoughts are with Emiliano's family, and obviously nothing can ease their loss, and nothing will ever replace the hole in their life. But I just hope that they gather the strength from the love that the fans and the people in the football community had for this wonderful person, that they obviously gather strength in that and remember him and carry on for his sake and the sake of themselves. So our thoughts with his family, and hope that nothing as terrible as this happens again.
Moving on to the...
I just like to say, I know you're eager, Dan. Of course, as our listeners know, we are a ultimate football fan powered podcast. We have gathered on the Ultimate Football Fan Discord to form this podcast as fans, and there's a lot of banter. It's a very fun community, and ever since Jose Mourinho went out, the seasons of Dan's club, Manchester United, and mine and Tony's club, Arsenal, have kind of gone in opposite directions.
Oh, jeez.
We've had, obviously, our two most important
all
defenders.
Season, I've been taking banter off you lot.
Not me. I was realistic. I knew this would happen.
Yeah, what I wanted to surmise was we've since had our two best defenders get injured. Bellerin obviously out for 10 months now. Socrates is out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. We haven't been on a good run of form, but opposite of us, Man United have caught up to an 11-point gap since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been appointed. In his 10 games in charge, he has 9 wins and 1 draw. Dan, you must be over the moon.
Oh, I am. Yeah. Just what he's... I when he first came in, it was more of a manager signing, like, oh, he's going to bring positivity back into the club. I don't expect anything from this season. There's no aim, there's no, like, pressure or anything. But now it's almost certain that we should go for top 4. Like, there's no denying that. Like, I mean, when Ollie first took over, Arsenal were on 34 points, Man United were on 26 points. After 8 league games, we're on 48, you're on 47. Just shows the progress, really.
So my question to you, Dan, is, for the viewers, to make it clear, what constitutes a successful season for Manchester United this season?
I mean, saying at the start of the season, I would no way have said top 4.
Yeah.
But seeing the mess we are in, I think top 4. I mean, I even think 5th and an FA Cup or something would be a successful season, considering what the mess we are in. But top 4 is a must, really, to be fair.
Yeah.
I honestly think that given what Solskjaer has done with the squad, because to me it's not about the type of results you're getting, whether, okay, it's great that he's winning pretty much every game and he hasn't lost a single game yet, but to me it's more the fact that he got the quality of performances, the level of form, the consistency from your top players, from your highest paid investments in guys like Lindelof, Bailly. He's gotten performances from Luke Shaw, from Matic and Herrera, which
even from Sanchez against you lot on the dance floor.
Yeah, but I mean, I just want to focus on Nemanja Matic, because who the fuck thought that this guy, who was a stump in midfield under Mourinho, could in like basically a month turn into Nemanja Matic from, I don't know, that championship winning season under Conte.
Yeah. No, it's very true. And the thing I want to ask Dan is, as you're a United fan, not obviously, I'm pretty sure you would like to see Solskjaer be given the job permanently. Do you think he will be given the job permanently?
No, I don't. I want him to get the job, obviously, but I don't. I think we hired Solskjaer back in December with the aim, with kind of, oh, you're coming in for 6 months, but there's no chance of you getting a job because you've got Zidane lined up. He doesn't want to come till the end of the season.
So you think Zidane will be your manager next season?
Well, no, not particularly Zidane. It could be Poch, it could be anyone, but I think we've got a manager lined up for the end of the season.
Do you think, if Solskjaer was given the job permanently, do you think you could challenge for the league next season?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
I think there's still a lot of work to be done with this squad, to be honest, because I think Man United are set in some areas, but in other areas they like fullbacks, they need massive improvement with fullbacks.
Yeah.
So
yeah. In that sense, similar to us, where the weakest area is the defence.
Yeah, but with Man United, it's still kind of, you look at the level of performances their players can give on a certain day, and you look at us, where if we get 2 injuries in our defense, we end up like we did this weekend against City. But
yeah,
still sticking with United, I saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer win the game away at Leicester this weekend, and then 3 or 4 hours later, he was already in the stands for the Lyon PSG game, scouting PSG ahead of the Champions League tie. And to me,
wow,
that's commitment. That's something that any fan would want from their manager of their club. Him and Mike Phelan in the stands already scouting and taking notes on PSG. The level of preparation, the level of hard work that Solskjaer has put in lifting this squad. And one thing I have to add with him, people question whether he's tactically astute enough. I don't. Because he has adjusted the system. He has come to tactical solutions that work. For instance, playing Lingard in the false 9 against Tottenham, and sort of playing with 2 spread strikers against Arsenal, and peeling in those gaps in between our center backs and our fullbacks, and attacking the lack of organization in our defense. He has come up with solutions, and he has come up with quality tactical plans to win these games. He's not just winning them based on luck, or all of a sudden the players have some sort of magical Ole potion and now it's all back to good old United, you know?
But my question is, if Solskjaer was to get United this season to, say, the quarterfinals, potentially the semi-finals of the Champions League, do you think he would then definitely be given the job?
I'd like to think so, but if you've got someone lined up, it might be hard to go back on it.
Yeah.
But I don't think, according to reports, everything I've seen and read, they don't have anyone in particular lined up, and it seems to be an audition for Solskjaer, and the other solution would be Pochettino. I
think Pochettino would want at least one full season at the new stadium, so I can't see Pochettino going in the summer.
I don't know, but it depends. I think it depends on what happens with Tottenham squad, whether they sell someone, whether he's told that they need to sell some of the key players, whether some of those guys want to leave and win some trophies. I think it very much depends on what they do this season.
Sure, yeah.
Because, and especially, I think with Tottenham, if they drop out of the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund, I think that is going to be I won't say a death blow to Pochettino at Spurs, but I think that's definitely going to be something where he's gonna feel that do I want to spend another season here where I can be at Real Madrid and actually win these games. I could be at Man United and actually win these games and compete for league titles and cups. You know, do I want to spend my time at Spurs?
Of course. Yeah, of course. If he wants to go and win trophies, he's got a much bigger chance of winning trophies at Manchester United than you do at Tottenham. Of course you do.
Yeah, and Real Madrid as well.
Yeah. Moving on to the big talking point, the Man City 3, Arsenal 1. What are your thoughts on that as a neutral, Dan?
Deep down, I thought Arsenal probably could have got a draw out of the game at half time.
Yeah.
But then I didn't actually watch the second half. Well, I watched the first half, but I didn't watch the second half because I was in the car by then. But I was listening to it on the radio, and like almost every single attack I was hearing through the commentary was Aguero or Sterling or someone. It's like Arsenal just weren't attacking by what I could hear.
Yeah, no, you heard correctly. Like, well, I have no words to describe this. That Alba, can you take over here, please?
You're just full on depressed after yesterday and being called a donut on Fan Park Live, and actually wanting to fight Adam on air. So I mean, that was interesting. If some of you guys haven't yet seen that, go look up Tony absolutely hammer Adam and them two going back and forth. For all of you who like Arsenal Fan TV, this is going to be fun because it's obviously two Arsenal fans going full on Ty and Claude style. You know, this is shit, and the other guy saying it's not shit enough. You know,
let's make it clear. I was Claude and Adam was Ty.
Yes, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Because one guy's black, the other guy's white. I mean, it's quite clear. One's
and Adam's deluded.
oh, no, come on. Still taking shots. Anyway, about the game, I didn't think that our tactical setup was that wrong. I know people were complaining that it was negative. I just thought that with our current situation defensively, we can't afford to take any risks. So Emery playing a low block 4-4-2, I think was a good idea. Obviously, the shit hit the door or whatever. Right in the first minute, it all went to basically disaster because Alex Iwobi, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I don't know where he thought he was on the pitch. I don't quite know. He starts dribbling out of his own 18-yard box, loses the ball. Laporte crosses it. Mustafi gets caught 7 yards behind the offside line.
Oh, jeez. Mustafi, it's just like this. It's not like he's a recruitment from the youth, who's having his debut. I'd understand it. I'd think, you know what, he's still learning. We're bringing up someone from the youth. Fair enough. Mustafi's a World Cup winner, guys. Let's look into the bigger picture here. He's a World Cup winner. We bought him for £35 million, and he's making schoolboy errors like that in our defence. What the hell is going on?
Mr. Muscrappy, Captain Shambolic.
It's ridiculous now. Like, look. Before any of the viewers think I'm saying we should have won, I'm not. Look, Man City have a better squad than we do. Man City are a much stronger team than we are. But at least play with a bit of dignity and have some fight. We didn't even have any of that.
Yeah. Adding to that, though, Newcastle beat them in the week, and like if you had an easier chance to beat them, that was probably your best chance because
exactly.
Yeah, but
they're on low.
This is the hilarious thing. We're all getting bantered by Man United fans and Chelsea fans and rival fans who are saying, "Oh, Newcastle beat them. Oh, Palace beat them. Leicester beat them." I mean, you people don't understand how shit our defense is. These teams have a better defense than we do.
Chelsea fans.
But you lot get banter out all season, and you don't expect any back.
To be fair, most of our fans have bantered United. I told people not to speak too soon. I did warn people, do not speak too soon. But Chelsea fans.
How sick! How sick!
Yes, we know.
Yeah, DT.
DT, thank you very much, DT, for letting these people add fuel to the fire.
That's the thing. That's why we're now getting bantered. That's why when you have two people who are a bit realistic like you and me, Tony, about our fucked up squad, we get bantered over the head by these United Hindenburg gassed fans when it's all gonna eventually the bubble's gonna implode at some point. At some point United are going to lose a game. But I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on the fact that we have people like DT in our fan base who repeatedly start going and getting gassed about us being above Man United while not expecting any kind of like drop off in our form. Like it's like they forget that our squad is injury prone and that one or two injuries that actually happen to us can completely derail our season.
The thing is, the only two people on that channel that speak any sense whatsoever is Claude and Mo. They're the only two.
Hey, don't forget my brother Lee Gunner.
Hey, Troops as well. Troops as well.
Troops has got too much of an agenda in my opinion.
Troops is the hype man. You gotta have Troops. You gotta have Troops. When the going gets tough, he cheers us up. When it's good, it's popping champagne bottles, baby.
For me, the one I can take most seriously, even though my opinions are quite similar to Claude's. For me, Mo is the one with the most level head. Mo can see it from the bigger picture. He keeps his cool.
I can't stand Mo.
Mo doesn't need to go in a shouting match to prove his point. Mo backs it up.
You're joking, right?
Nah.
Mo does speak sense. Mo speaks sense.
I think
it can eat.
But honestly,
you can't deny that.
I just now realized that Claude does to Tony like he does the Star Wars shtick of Darth Vader, but instead of like the heavy breath, they're like, Tony, I'm your father. It's more like, Tony, I'm your father. Listen up. We're shit. This team is shit. You're deluded.
Can I just say, my question to fellow Gooners are, and I asked the same question to Adam. I didn't get a proper response. What a surprise. Yes, that was another dig at him. What's it going to take? What's it going to take for our fan base as a whole to wake up and smell the coffee?
I think finishing outside of European places.
Even then, I think Ty and Adam will still see positives. Will it take us for us to be relegated and liquidated before they finally see sense?
No, come on. I think a lot of it comes down to actually people need to realize our squad is in deep shit because it's not gonna end well this season. The moment Socrates went out and Bellerin followed, it just like this is nightmare stuff. Like we couldn't afford a single defensive injury as is, and then our two best defenders just go out. And of course, what happened in Man City happens. And even though the manager sets us up tactically correct, we played the exact same way. Low block, congest the middle, force them out to the flanks. Same things that Palace and Newcastle and Leicester did. But there
was just no fight from the team. There was no fight, in my opinion.
No, I think we fought. I think we fought in the first half. But then just the second goal goes in because Lichtsteiner is just trash, and the whole team capitulates. It was like seeing Wenger.
Yeah.
I wanted to add one thing on the Wenger thing. When people said in the chats yesterday, I saw a lot of things on Twitter and a lot of chats. oh, it's never been as bad as this. Arsenal have never been this shit. I'm embarrassed. I'm disgraced. I'm like, where the fuck were you last year? Captain recency bias. Like, at least in this game, we showed some fight in the first half. We at least have 35 to 40 minutes of play in there where our team poses some kind of threat. Last year, in the Carabao Cup final and in the Emirates, they just walked over us. Like, City didn't switch out of first gear. Here, by the way, this is away from home. Those two games last season under Wenger were on neutral field, on Wembley, and at home. A home game that, by the way, was in front of a half-empty stadium against the future champions. Half-empty stadium. They walk all over us. Why? Because the team's playing like shit. So, when people complain it's never been this bad, oh yes, it's been. Where have you been the last fucking 10 years? Like, I love these people. Oh, it's never been this bad. Like, how long have you been watching Arsenal? The last 3 years? You forgot the 8-2?
Yeah.
You forgot that part? You forgot the trashings by Bayern and Barcelona? Like the 5-0s, the 5-1s? And you think this was the worst? The game at the Allianz, what did they? I think they beat us 5-1, and we had like 3 shots in the entire game and 30% possession. 2 years ago.
I think the argument some people make is we're 6th again, but at least with last season we was actually playing beautiful football.
I mean, as if we're not like you're saying beautiful football. The football's been the same going forward. It's not changed. The defensive thing, yes, we've sacrificed some of the, I guess, control and the possession stuff that Wenger gave us for more pace in the attack and being a bit more direct. But we still score a shitload of goals. Our problem is, again, the squad we have cannot defend. The only 2 good defenders went out, and now our season's toast. Because I don't see us making top 4, and I don't see us winning Europa.
Yeah. And I said this weeks ago, didn't I? And everyone was like, we'll do one of them. I was one of the few people that said we won't win Europa and we won't get top 4.
Yeah, listen, I still believed we had a chance for top 4 provided we stayed healthy. But I knew our consistency would ruin. Even after the Chelsea win, when people were getting carried away, I was like, I still think we'll finish 6th with the consistency. Yeah, but think about like just having Bellerin and Socrates in the squad just gave us some sort of stability and the ability. Like, we could never play this season and could never expect to compete, and that's one of the things where I'm pissed, and I'll get onto it later in the rant battle. But some people expecting us to compete with this squad when it's clearly shot. It's dead.
Yeah. Moving on to other games in the Premier League this weekend, we'll start off with Tottenham Hotspur getting away with a jammy 3 points again, beating Newcastle 1-0. Son scoring a late goal. What are your thoughts on that game, Dan?
I can't really see how people keep saying, Tottenham are getting lucky all the time, because football is about being in the game, and like they're still in the Wemby's still being in the game in the 80th minute. I think it's better than scoring in the first 10 minutes. It's like their morale hasn't gone down, and they're still going for the game. So I think they should get more credit for coming back and scoring in the last few minutes.
That's an interesting point of view. What's your thought?
You know what I'm gonna say about that? Yeah, mate. My name's Spencer, by the way. I'm a Tottenham fan. Why are you calling us a jammy cunt? Yeah, Tony. We're not jammy cunts. We have every right to win this bloody game. Heung-min Son is the best player in the Premier League. What you got? Huh? Where's your Arsenal now? Huh? In 6th place? Are you gonna win the league? No, you're not. We're gonna win the league. We're Tottenham Hotspur, yeah? We got Harry Kane. He's the best striker in the Premier League. He's going to be coming back soon, and he's going to fill your fucking asses with goals. And we got Son, we got Ericsson, we got Eric fucking Dyer in midfield, the powerhouse, the future England captain. Yeah, you ain't got nothing. Arsenal are shit. You're done. You're toast. Tottenham Hotspur for the title. We're catching Liverpool. We're only 2 points off the top. We're gonna do this. Yeah. Come on, you Spurs. Who the fuck was that guy? I mean...
that was interesting. Alba, what's your thoughts on the game?
I just want to know how this guy appeared in the podcast, but okay. Well, fucking Tottenham fan. I mean, unbelievable. Breach of security over here. You know, I didn't know we had callers. I mean, the guy just appears out of thin air. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, this Spencer guy. Unbelievable. But anyway, yeah, they're lucky, but listen, Son's a terrific player.
Of course.
They have a very, very very, very good team, very, very solid structure, and you know, they still have a chance. I think that however much we want to hate on them, they played really well against Newcastle. They played a lot better than Man City did. I know they played at home, and City obviously played away in the cauldron of St. James Park, and a lot of people don't think Newcastle have much of a home advantage. I think they do, because that stadium is always packed. The Geordies are crazy. They create a great atmosphere. But still, Rafa makes it tough, and Tottenham did their job well. In the end, it was hard for them to score because obviously Llorente's shit, Kane is injured, Ali's out, and they played Lucas Moura as number 9, and that's kind of, I guess, I mean, it worked because Son scored, but they're not going to score many goals without a proper center forward. But they're still getting results.
Of course. Moving on to the next game, Chelsea, Gonzalo Higuain's debut. Chelsea ripping apart Huddersfield 5-0 at Stamford Bridge. What are your thoughts on that?
Did he play against Bournemouth? Did he? Because you said debut. I find that interesting because I didn't see Gonzalo either. Gonzalo, where are you? Where are you? Where you at? Because I mean, I just saw a random pot belly running around the field. Like it was some person with a belly. Kind of looked like a younger version of Claude in a blue shirt. You know, it was jiggly. He was going out there Claude. Like
Claude.
Like Mr. Santa Claus. I think that's actually a compliment to Claude. You know. But anyway, Gonzo with 2 goals. I mean, that's what he's been brought in to do, and he linked up quite well with Eden Hazard. I think now this Chelsea team kind of makes sense, but again, it's Huddersfield. They are utter garbage. They pretty much gave up on this season. They just look done. They look fried.
Oh yeah, Huddersfield are 11 points from safety now.
Yeah, I mean they look fried. I think it's. I mean, I don't want to be the asshole and you know, harp on poor Huddersfield and completely trash them, but it just they look as if they understand that it's done, you know.
It's game over.
Yeah. And
the next one is Wolverhampton, who are now only 9 points behind us, beating Everton at Goodison Park 3-1. What are your thoughts on that?
Before we get on to the Wolves game, one quick mention for Chelsea. I wanted to actually shout out, besides Higuain and that brilliant finish on the first goal, I actually wanted to shout out N'Golo Kante assisting twice for Gonzalo Higuain's goals. So anyone who's saying that N'Golo Kante can't play as a box-to-box midfielder, I think you're wrong. I think Sarri,
I agree.
I think Sarri has a point with him playing further up front because you can still get Kante to do the defensive side of the game the way he did when they beat Man City at home, because you can still get Kante further up to mark one of the players and he can still go box to box and do the defensive side. Obviously, he's not central. His positioning is not central, but he can still impact the game. So, in my opinion, Kante still doing rather well. But again, the whole Sarri system, it takes time, and now it's, because it's Chelsea, I don't know if he'll get the time. That's kind of my 2 cents on that. And overall, I think with Higuain, it makes a lot more sense. Hazard scored twice, and they looked well, but again, it's Huddersfield, they're shit. And so we'll move on to the Wolves game, where Everton just... I actually want your thoughts, Tony, on Everton, because obviously you're English, you're a lot closer to kind of the vibe of Everton, if you wish, in terms of they once were a pretty big club in England, a pretty impactful club. They're trying to get back to that level, but they keep on failing. So I'm interested in the perspective of, say, can Everton do a Tottenham in the next couple of years, or do you think that this project is just doomed to be a bunch of money spent for nothing?
I think it's more of an experiment, in my opinion, at the moment. I don't think realistically for the next few years they'll break into the top 6. I think, in my opinion, Wolves are more likely to do that than Everton are. But I think long term, I think that goal could be realistic long term once they've built their new stadium and they get a bit of understanding. So when Silva gets a bit of understanding of the squad he has, the best squad he's got, I think they could then. But until then, I think at the moment, 7th to 10th is their most realistic finish.
My thing with Silva, though, do you think he is a good manager, or do you think he's more of a guy who might be good but still hasn't found his, let's say, preferred spot? Because of course he's been around now in the Premier League for a while. He's bounced around from Hull, then he's been at Watford, then last year there was the whole thing of Everton wanting him to replace Koeman. Obviously that thing failed, and then they got him in the summer. What are your feelings on him?
His teams cannot defend his teams cannot defend like corners or set pieces.
Yeah, that's the trouble. So I think Silva he's a decent manager. I won't say him. I think he's a decent manager with what he's got. I know they've spent a lot of money, but I think when he gets the team figured out, his best starting 11 figured out, I think he can take Everton 2 places and stable 7th, 8th place.
Do you guys think that maybe there are still too many of these sort of Allardyce players, sort of previous manager players in at Everton for Silva, or is this his squad, or do you guys still think that a lot of players like, for instance, Sigurdsson or Michael Keane or, I don't know, Baines or Walcott are players that ideally Silva would like to replace with someone else?
See, I think Sigurdsson is a vital player to them. I think he brings a lot of quality to that midfield. So I think if you're going to keep anyone from the Allardyce era, it would be him. But I still think they're missing goals. So they haven't had a proper goal scorer since Lukaku went to Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, they have.
I think that's.
You can have him back if we want.
I mean, he'd be an upgrade on Turkish Andy Carroll.
Yeah, even looking at this, they lost 3-1 to Wolves this weekend at home as well. The one goal that Everton scored was by Andre Gomez, a central midfielder. So they're not even getting goals from their strikers.
Yeah, I mean, Tosun did assist, but I mean, he's crap. Like, Cenk Tosun, I think they paid something like £25 million for him. It's ridiculous. Like, because Allardyce...
Yeah, but look what we paid for Lukaku.
True.
But then again, there's the other side of Everton, where they in the same summer did a B-Tech Arsenal by buying 3 number 10s on huge wages and bought in Rooney, Davy Klaassen, and Sigurdsson in the same summer for huge money.
And can I just say, going on to Wolves, who obviously beat Everton this weekend, for me personally, I think a majority of people, the stats don't lie, would agree. Wolves are the strongest Premier League side, newly promoted side in Premier League history, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to Mr. Jorge Mendes.
Yeah, the Wolves to Everton, even though they're inconsistent this season, Goodison Park is not an easy place to get a result. And for Wolves who are newly promoted to win 3-1 there, that is impressive.
They should be renamed to Portuguese Wanderers.
But that's the thing. That's the way football's going now. And this is what we keep saying about the issue with our owners. If you want to compete at the highest level, you need investment. Like Wolves were having fun. Yeah. At one point, Wolves were in the 3rd tier of English football.
Yeah,
they were struggling financially.
You also need connections. And obviously we're working on that by hiring Sanelli, who has a lot of connections, and he's a very well sourced director of football. But obviously, our problem is more missed investments than rather lack of investment, because we've spent money and signed players like Mustafi and Xhaka for £40 million, which is just a disaster.
Yeah, of course. But Wolves for me, Wolves will I think they'll finish 7th this season. That's if they don't overtake us. Yeah. But that will get into that's something completely different. But I think Wolves are for the foreseeable future. Wolves will be a stable 7th, 8th place finisher team.
Yeah, I think they've got a really good squad, and of course Ruben Neves scored again.
Quality player. He might have only been a penalty, but the guy is a top quality talent.
Him and Moutinho really dictate the midfield well, and I think the addition. I think the addition of Dendoncker as sort of the holding midfielder and Nuno switching more to a kind of a 3-5-2 with a holding midfielder and allowing Moutinho and Neves to push up more, I think it's freed them up a lot more to create, and I think Wolves look a lot better in that kind of setup than I mean, obviously they can go to the 3-4-3, but I think this works a lot better for them, and then obviously you can rotate alongside Jimenez, whether you want Jota or Caballero or Costa or Traore, whichever one of these speedsters you want, you can rotate.
Now, the question I have for you, Albert, is and it's looking likely, if Wolves finish 7th this season, and one of the top 6 sides win the FA Cup, which would open up a Europa League spot for 7th place, like it happened with Burnley last season. How well do you think Wolves could do in Europe next season?
I mean, I think they'll obviously improve some of their depth. Obviously, I think they need another center forward. I think Jimenez, he's decent. He scored, I think, 3 goals in the last 2 games. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good center forward, but
he scored against Everton as well.
Yeah.
He scored against Everton.
I think ideally they would have at least another player who is as good as Jimenez, if not better. You know, I think that's where they need improvement, and I think it wouldn't hurt them to, if Nuno is serious about this 3-man back line, I think they need at least another quality center back, you know, possibly an upgrade on Ryan Bennett. I have nothing against Ryan Bennett. He's not a bad player, but he's someone who is like a bottom half of the Premier League starter.
Yeah, and how do you think Wolves will do at the weekend? On next Monday, they've got Newcastle at Molineux. Do you think they'll do well out of that game?
That's another thing with Wolves. Obviously, Everton went at them and outpossessed them and outcontrolled the game, and that's the thing with Wolves. They're a counter-attacking team. If you go at them, they will punish you.
Yeah,
because you will leave gaps, and that's how their game is built and how they're suited to play. But a team like Newcastle, and I completely see Rafa challenging Wolves to break them down, and I don't see Wolves being able to break them down, and I think that's going to be a draw. And that's one of the big flaws that Wolves have right now.
Yeah, so do you think they're out of, say, Wolves, Leicester, Everton, and potentially West Ham? Do you think Wolves are most likely to finish in that 7th spot?
Yes, and of course there's Watford there as well, but I think the other teams have just been falling off, and I think Wolves will get it quite convincingly because they now have 4 points on Watford in 8th. They have 5 points on Everton and Bournemouth in 9th and 10th, and Leicester is 11th, 6 points behind Wolves, and I think that's pretty comfortable margins for Wolves.
But do you think Wolves, so pretty much what I said earlier, because obviously if they finish 7th and one of the top 6 win the FA Cup, they will still have to go through qualification for the group stages. Do you think they could get to the group stages of the Europa League?
Just build some more depth.
Yeah. That's a good shout.
I mean, it didn't work for Burnley, though, but you know.
Yeah, I mean,
but Wolves have a lot more resources than Burnley.
And the players are a lot better. There's a much higher quality.
Talking about the Wolves and Everton game, did you not see that cat on the pitch?
Yeah, that's been a big talking point this the past day or two.
Did you hear this commentary from BBC?
Where has this cat come from?
It was great.
He looks quite brave. He's in the penalty area. He's making a run towards goal, this black cat now. Is he going to end up in the back of the net? No! He's just gone wide, skirting across the 6-yard box, stopped. Has a look around. Eyes up the Everton fans. Sees a steward. The steward sees him. Is the steward going to try and catch the cat? No, he's off. The players go towards this black cat. It's like a fully grown cat going towards the substitutes. The substitutes stand and wait, drops the shoulder, jinks one way, then the other. The cat's still going. Left wing, running towards the bench now, this cat, towards Nuno Espirito Santo, who stands arms folded, laughing. The cat drifts on into the Everton half now. Pickford comes out of his goal and takes a look at the cat. The cat looks at Pickford, drops his shoulder again. A steward encroaches onto the pitch. Here he goes. He's after the cat, but the cat knows it, so he's put in a turn of pace here, this black cat. It goes running into the Everton penalty area where the net's unguarded. Pickford's not there. So in front of the Everton fans, the cat now runs for the Everton goal. Can he make it? Across the line. He heads towards the post. Oh, it's just wide. Just wide of the Pickford's right-hand post as he jogs towards the police.
It's funny, though, because there was a pigeon on the pitch during the Leicester United game yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what's my takeaway?
Is there a conspiracy here? There's a conspiracy between animals here.
Yeah, you know what's my takeaway about the cat?
What?
Sunderland are finally back in the Premier League. The Black Cats.
Wow.
Anyway.
On that note, I'd like to move on to one of the other big games for Cardiff City, their first home game since Sala went missing, beating Bournemouth 2-0 at home. What are your thoughts on that game?
I honestly don't. It's weird because Bournemouth go and beat Chelsea 4-0.
Yeah.
Weekend later, they're losing to Cardiff 2-0. I can't.
Bobby Reid scoring both goals as well.
Yeah,
Bobby
but that's kind of typical Bournemouth, though. They do this all the time. This is like signature Eddie Howe. Like he's gonna beat a big team 1 week, and then the next week he's going to completely botch it. Like, he's going to completely bottle it against a small team.
Yeah.
And
it's very true.
One takeaway for me from that game is, unfortunately, for some reason, they didn't have. Actually, I'm looking it up right here. David Brooks had an injured ankle, and Colin Wilson was also injured. So, forced into action was new signing Dominic Solanke, and he did not have a good game. As well, for Cardiff, Umar Nias played and did quite well, but Indian Bobby Reed's the hero, and Cardiff still, Neil Warnock still trying to tussle and get out of their relegation zone, and they're only 2 points behind Burnley and Southampton. So
exactly, yeah. So, like, for me, I think in that bottom half of the table, I think Huddersfield and potentially Fulham is too far for them now.
Nah, Fulham's done.
Yeah, so Cardiff, maybe they could salvage a season. Like I said at the start of the season, I said Huddersfield, Cardiff, and Southampton would go down. That was my prediction.
I think Roy Hodgson killed Fulham this weekend. I think this was Fulham basically. I don't think they capitulated, because I don't want to say that Ranieri teams give up, but I think it's pretty much done for them.
Wouldn't it be a miracle though if somehow Huddersfield survived?
Oh, come on.
Well, sorry, do you know what I said? I said earlier they're 11 points from safety. They're not. They're actually 13 points from safety.
Yeah.
If we're going to be looking at any like great survivors, I mean, I know it's not the Premier League, so you two may not know or not, but not. They're at the bottom of League 2 at the moment, and they're the English.
Oh yeah, I know about the leagues. Yeah, Notts County.
Yeah,
they're the oldest English football club in the leagues.
Yeah,
I mean, Newport County pulled it off 2 years ago. A great escape. We were like 11 points below in March.
Yeah,
and ended up escaping. So it's possible for Huddersfield.
I think Leicester. I think Leicester did something similar under Nigel Pearson, their first season in the Premier League, in this new sort of era of Leicester.
It's possible, but I don't know. I mean, Notts County went and I think Lincoln are top of League 2 at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't look at the table being a Newport fan. It depresses me.
But the Premier League's a whole different ball game. To be 13 points behind with 13 games left, that is going to be nearly impossible to get back now, especially with the lack of quality Huddersfield have.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Huddersfield should be like proud if they finish like 17th, let alone not 17th. I mean 18th or something like.
Yeah.
Even if they still get relegated, I think they should be proud if they don't finish last.
And to be fair, no one gave them any hope of surviving last season. So to get into a second consecutive season, that is a big achievement for a club like Huddersfield.
Yeah, I'll tell you a team I'm shocked by. I mean, I went to go find my prediction because I remember at the start.
I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, posting a picture of my prediction, and all I could find was my top 10 prediction. Yeah, but I put Fulham in 10th.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm shocked, to be fair.
I thought Fulham would survive. I didn't think they'd be in the top half. I thought they'd survive, but it's looking. They're 7 points from safety now. Fulham.
Yeah, but they looked a strong side. I mean, signing.
Well, the amount of money they spent a lot of money. They spent more. Like I think they were the third. They spent the third most out of all Premier League teams this season, if I'm correct, and they're 19th. That is bad. That is bad.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to do a Wolves, but Wolves were more successful.
Exactly, and that's another thing, bad news for Fulham. Andre Schürrle will apparently return to Borussia Dortmund if Fulham do get relegated.
Yeah, but that's to be expected. I mean, he's not going to stick around and play in the Championship. He's a far superior player than that. I mean, he's not some great player, but he is better than playing in the Championship. He's one of Fulham's top players. So
yeah. To the other end of the table, just to quickly end on this topic.
So, guys, West Ham won, Liverpool won at the London Stadium. At Liverpool, very, very, very poor performance from Liverpool. Not looking like potential Premier League champions right there. Ton of chances for West Ham. I mean, is this the beginning of another slip for Liverpool? What do you guys think?
Look, I think because there's been no fully consistent teams this season, like City have dropped silly points, I don't think it will affect Liverpool's chances of winning the league. I think they're still in pole position, in my opinion.
It's up to anyone. City are bottling it, Liverpool are bottling it, so they're allowing Tottenham to slip into the race. And for all knows, Chelsea or United could slip into it if they wanted to as well.
Yeah, but my thing kind of with Tottenham is they did have quite a favorable run in the league recently, and they still have the big fixtures to play, and I think they'll revert back to being Spurs, and they'll manage to fuck it up at some point.
Yeah. For me, it's a two-horse race. Tottenham are in this title race.
But nah, think about it, bro. They've managed to catch up. Yeah, maybe they haven't done much. Maybe it's because the other team's been flopping, but they've managed to catch up without their key players. So once Kane and all are back, they stand a chance.
Yeah, but
I don't know. They don't have the experience winning big trophies like Liverpool and City. I don't think they've. I think a lack of experience there they're gonna bottle it once again.
Yeah, but to me, it's still kind of when I just look at tonight's game, I have no idea how or why Liverpool played this badly, because realistically, West Ham were 3 or 4 times a couple of inches away from scoring and easily could have had 3 or 4 goals if there was more accuracy, particularly from Chicharito up front.
Yeah,
he could have had a brace. Liverpool were they were really, really poor, and what particularly showed is that the right side of their defense is definitely in crisis. I mean, without Alexander-Arnold and Lovren or Gomez, they're completely shot at that side. Like having to play Milner and Matip, they're just trash.
Yeah. I still, for me, Liverpool is still 3 points clear of City, 5 clear of Tottenham. I don't see Tottenham challenging for this. I think if Liverpool were to bottle this, I think it's City's title.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but it depends. I think Liverpool are so vulnerable down that right-hand side that if you can expose that the way West Ham did in particular with the movement of Snodgrass, Anderson, and Antonio up front, and they just kept swarming down Milner and Matip's throat, and it would just open space for Chicharito.
Sure, yeah. See, so the next fixture list on Saturday, Liverpool are at home to Bournemouth, and on Sunday, Man City are at home to Chelsea. So Liverpool could potentially, if Chelsea calls an upset, Liverpool could extend their lead there.
Yeah, one important thing is Man City do have an away game against Everton in the Premier League because they played the League Cup, so I think they had a delayed game or something.
Yeah.
So,
and Liverpool have also got to face Man United at Old Trafford on the 24th of February.
Yeah. That's an interesting proposition.
Yeah.
Dan, do you think you can win that game?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say we will win it, because we might not, but we can win it.
See, this is interesting. If Tottenham drop more points, Tottenham still have to travel to Stamford Bridge this month, so even Chelsea could catch Tottenham.
Yeah, but here's here's the thing with Tottenham. Like I said, they had a easy run of fixtures up till now, and then anyway,
they played United.
Yeah,
well.
But anyway, with Tottenham,
that's the hardest team.
Come on. Anyway, Tottenham have Leicester next at home. Then, I mean, they could drop points there.
Yeah.
Leicester could.
They could.
Leicester could give them problems, and then they have Dortmund in the Champions League. Burnley away.
Come on, Dortmund.
Burnley away. That's not going to be a problem. And then they have Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Dortmund away. And then it's Southampton away, Crystal Palace at home, and then Liverpool away.
Yeah.
So
run, there's a tough run there.
Yeah. So that's the next 2 months basically.
For me, Tottenham are safe. They'll be top 4, top 3. But if they slip up, Chelsea could or Man United could even catch them.
And by
they'll
the
get
way,
top 4.
So until the end of the season, that's my point with Tottenham's easy fixture list. Like their recent schedule has been easy because until the end of the season, from now till the end, they have to go away to Chelsea, away to Liverpool, and away to City, and they have Arsenal at home plus Champions League. So they're bound to lose some of these games. They're bound to drop points somewhere. So I don't think they can keep up with Liverpool and City.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I think Liverpool's still in the driving seat. If they do mess up, then obviously it'll be City. It won't be Tottenham.
Yeah, but Liverpool have the Bayern Champions League thing.
Yeah. Man City have an easier run in the Champions League.
Yeah, they have Schalke. That's pretty much done.
I think City aren't strong enough. I think they've lost too many games. Their morale, they don't have that confidence of oh, look at us, we're invincible, we're immortal kind of attitude there.
So
they're weaker this season.
You think regardless of the result tonight, it's Liverpool's to lose now. It's Liverpool's title.
Yeah, it's definitely Liverpool's to lose. I mean, I think if anyone's got a chance of winning it more than Liverpool, I think Tottenham stand a chance. I don't think City are going to win it at all.
Wow,
that's interesting. Anyway,
that's a bold statement. That is a bold statement.
Yeah. Moving on to the surprise of the weekend, at least in my opinion. Of course, we'll get to Lyon beating PSG, but I think a bigger surprise happened in Germany, where Bayern lost convincingly to Bayer Leverkusen away 3-1. And what a game for Leverkusen new coach Peter Bosch to sort of stake his claim for this job for a longer term, because obviously he's been brought in mid-season to sort of improve the situation at Leverkusen. That's not good. They were obviously expecting to compete for the Champions League spots. Right now they are 7 points off of 4th place Leipzig. They have a lot of talent in that squad, and under Bosch, finally, the last 2 games they have performed rather well, winning 3-0 away at Wolfsburg last time out, and now, of course, the 3-1 win at home against Bayern Munich, effectively taking Bayern Munich, I wouldn't say out of the title chase, but it's now a 7-point gap between Dortmund, who drew with Eintracht Frankfurt, and it's going to be really, really tough for Niko Kovac and Bayern from this point on to come back and win the Bundesliga title.
Yeah, and Gladbach have now moved up to 2nd on goal difference.
True. They're hanging around, Gladbach, but it's been a great season for them. Shout-outs to Dieter Hecking, who is a very good coach. Hasn't had the best of luck sometimes at Wolfsburg, but he is a very good coach, and he's doing a terrific job at Gladbach. But
I think Dortmund. It would take a lot for Dortmund to lose that. Now I think that title is Dortmund's.
Yep, but to me, very very
that's
impressive.
what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
It's like the Prem with Liverpool. It's Liverpool's title to lose. It's also Dortmund's title to lose.
Yeah, but there is a bigger gap between Dortmund and the rest than there is with Liverpool and the rest.
Yeah.
I'd like to just say on the Leverkusen point, they were absolutely excellent in this game. I watched the game actually. It was a thrilling contest. Brilliant performances from the Leverkusen midfield. Julian Brandt and Kai Havertz completely dominated Goretzka and James Rodriguez in midfield. Kimmich had so many problems with runners from deep by Leverkusen. It's a trademark of Peter Bosch to play very, very attacking, fluid football with a lot of movement, and it caused a lot of problems for a not very mobile center back pairing of Sula and Hummels, and Leon Bailey and Kevin Folland got on the score sheet in the second half with substitute Luca Salario confirming the victory in the 87th minute on a Julian Brandt assist. There was a good goal from Bailey, but funnily enough, it was another collapse by Bayern Munich, something that has happened to them a couple of times this season. They went in at the break leading 1-0 from a Goretzka goal, and then in the second half just completely folded. And
sure,
it's not looking good for Kovac right now.
It's not.
He might get sacked, quite possibly even before the end of the season, depending on how the Champions League run goes. Anyway, elsewhere in the Bundesliga, of course, Dortmund drew. Not a trademark performance from them, but Eintracht Frankfurt are a quite strong side. Marco Reus there with the goal, and on the other side, I believe it was, let me check, yes, Luka Jovic scoring again for Frankfurt. Young player to watch for, certainly. Elsewhere in the Bundesliga, Mönchengladbach, of course, like we mentioned, beating Schalke away 2-0. Moving to second, Schalke having a nightmare season. They are stuck in 12th with 22 points. They are 7 points clear of the relegation zone, certainly not where they expected to be, and I think the draw they got handed in the Champions League, which of course is Manchester City, could get a lot uglier than what happened, for instance, to Arsenal this weekend, because Schalke are absolute trash at the moment. They're not good.
Yeah, Schalke are having a horrible season.
Moving on to the second biggest surprise of this weekend in football. Lyon yesterday beating Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 at home. Former Celtic striker Moussa Dembélé with a goal and Nabil Fekir with a penalty. Angel Di Maria opened the scoring in the 7th minute for PSG, being assisted by Julian Draxler, but it was not good enough for PSG in the end. I have to commend Lyon for playing a very, very brave game, a very open attacking game, going toe-to-toe with PSG, and it completely paid off. The lack of balance in this PSG team exposed. Tuchel tried a sort of fluid 3-5-2 system that he likes a lot, very, very similar to what he had played against Liverpool in that game at the Parc des Princes, with Di Maria in that sort of free 10 role that Neymar occupied. Unfortunately, playing Julian Draxler as a box-to-box midfielder is not the smartest idea. Dani Alves out on the right as a right back got completely torn apart by Memphis Depay. He's lost, rather, a lot of his athletic ability he was known for earlier in his career. Depay caused them a lot of problems. There were gaps all over the place around Thiago Silva, especially in the middle of that PSG defense, and that looks like a very, very enticing proposal in the Champions League for Manchester United. Dan, early thoughts on your game with PSG in the Champions League? You think you can do this?
Don't know. I mean, I can't even remember who we play next in the Premier League, but I think it all depends on confidence around the game, to be fair, because it's winnable, and I don't think they have Neymar, and they may not have Verratti, but like, I'm not going to expect to win it. If we win it, it's a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, PSG are definitely not settled tactically.
Yeah.
They don't look to have a consistent system. The Tuchel keeps experimenting, and I mean, this is their first defeat in the league, but a defeat to Lyon, I think, means a lot, because Lyon are a team that gave Manchester City a lot of problems in the group stages of the Champions League. They're obviously a very good team, and I think their talent level is about on par with the playing squad of Manchester United, and I think there might be problems for PSG in that game. And if you guys remember correctly, when the draw was made, Jose Mourinho was still the manager of Manchester United, and we were all laughing about how Manchester United are absolutely going to get torn to shreds against PSG. But right now, it's completely flipped, and how fast things can change in football, Tony.
But that just shows how one-sided the French league is, because they have their first loss of the season, and they're still 10 points clear of second place with 2 games in hand.
Yeah. And Lille, of course, trashed Nice at home this weekend. Nicolas Pepe again scored. This time it was not a penalty. He continues his brilliant form this season, and he's definitely a player who's going to be attracting a lot of interest from all around Europe. And he's a player definitely to watch for. So another talented player growing in the French league. But time to move to
La Liga, or
La Liga, yes, where
Barcelona drew 2-2 with Valencia. Quite a shock, because Valencia haven't been great this season, but they were 2-0 up. I mean, they could have won the game, but Messi came back and scored 2 goals to allow Barcelona to get a point from it. But I think it was Valencia's game to lose that one.
Yeah, it was another vintage Messi performance, but I'd like to touch on Valencia sort of doing this, I guess, the entire season. It's kind of been that sort of season for them. They have 12 draws this season in 22 league games. That's astounding. Like, they seem to get in great positions in terms of the score, and seem to go up, and then it just kind of, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they just managed to Spurs it, if you will. You know, the old Spurs, kind of Juan de Ramos era Spurs that would just go up like a goal or two and then just kind of flop the first moment they would come under any kind of serious pressure, and that's what happened to Valencia in this game. The moment Messi kind of got more into the game after he scored that penalty, and especially in the second half with Jordi Alba coming on for Nelson Semedo at halftime, and sort of Valverde kind of rejigging his lineup and switching things around, that definitely turned the game around for Barcelona, and they gained more control with Jordi Alba in. And I don't quite understand why Valverde went for Sergio Roberto at left back and Semedo at right back, and it didn't make much sense. I know Barcelona in midweek obviously played in the Copa del Rey, and they had to catch a lead against Valencia. Valencia had a 2-0 lead coming away to the Nou Camp in the two-legged Copa del Rey tie, and Barcelona trashed them 6-1. They absolutely destroyed Sevilla.
Yeah, because they were 2-0 down from the first leg, am I correct?
And won 6-1. They absolutely trashed Sevilla. Coutinho had probably his best game for Barcelona yet. And this game against Valencia didn't go as well, but he did make an impact, and in the end, Barcelona still with a solid lead at the top ahead of Atletico Madrid, who lost this weekend against Betis away.
And they did?
Yes. And
I'm depressed that I banned Andres now. I couldn't ban him.
It's turning out to be a rather one-sided race in Spain as well. Real Madrid did win 3-0 against Alaves. Great game by Vinicius Junior at the Bernabeu, certainly proving all the wealth of his talent. He's a brilliant young player. Brazil have another superstar for the next decade in young Vinicius Junior.
Yeah.
An interesting talking point to me from that game is Gareth Bale being taken off and replaced by Marco Asensio in the 63rd minute. So quite early on, it's looking as if Gareth Bale could be on the market this summer. Dan, we know Man United are perennially linked with Gareth Bale. Do you believe...
It's far too late now. No. 3 seasons ago I would have taken Bale, but nah. Not anymore. He only plays well, like, for Wales at the moment. I mean, the Champions League final, I think, was probably his last good game.
Yeah.
He had actually, no, to be fair, I think, was it the Club World Cup or something?
Yeah.
He scored a hat-trick or something. I don't know. He's had a few good games, but for what he's worth, it's quite embarrassing, to be fair.
Potentially, like, my thought is just that potentially he could be available for less money than people think. That's kind of my idea.
I wouldn't take him because the wages. We've already got a useless pile of crap in Sanchez on typing this out.
He had to do it. He had to do it.
Yeah, but it's kind of always been bandied around. Manchester United, you need a right winger. It's if you can get Bale, obviously that's a big improvement.
I wouldn't take Bale. I think the Premier League's too he wouldn't do well in it anymore. I think if he's got to go somewhere, I think he should follow Ronaldo to Serie A. I mean, I'm not saying he should go to Juventus, but I think Serie A would be a good place for him to go. I mean, because then he can rival against Aaron Ramsey once he's left you guys.
Interesting, but rumors of Bale going to Bayern Munich are still very prevalent, and honestly, if Gareth Bale is replacing Arjen Robben, you're pretty much getting a very, very similar player, at least in my mind. I mean, Bale's a bit different in his style of play. He's a bit more physical and less, I guess, left-footed, if you will, though he loves his left foot as well, but it would make sense for Bayern. They do have the money to cover the wages, and they have obviously stocked up themselves with young guys like Kingsley Coman and Gnabry on the wings, and Alphonso Davies coming over from Canada, who's a pretty big talent. He's a good young footballer. So bringing in Gareth Bale, obviously, to supplement the impact of the young guys and sort of keep Bayern in kind of Champions League title chasing mode, I think would be a good move for them.
Yeah. Now, moving on to the Italian league. Juventus drawing 3-3 with Parma this weekend. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Juve have been hot and cold recently. They definitely offensively haven't been playing well. There's been the Lazio game last weekend that they were absolutely awful in and somehow managed to win.
Yeah.
I still quite can't believe, but that's the magic of Ronaldo, if you will. Cancelo did come up with a clutch goal, and then Ronaldo scored a penalty pretty late on, won and scored a penalty. But in midweek in Coppa Italia, they did lose to Atalanta 3-0. They were battered, quite frankly. Their midfield was an absolute shambles. They really need legs in that midfield, and Aaron Ramsey can't come soon enough for Juve because Sami Khedira's completely washed. Emre Can has turned out to be a flop for Juventus.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, they can still go and win the Champions League. They can still do their Juve thing and then grind it out. But their big problem right now is all of their marquee defenders they've built this team around. So Bonucci, Chiellini, and Barzagli are all out with injuries. I don't think any of them are long term, but at least right now they don't have the solidity at the back. And obviously that's how Parma scored 3 goals away from home at the Juventus Stadium, which it's a very hard place to go. So normally when Juventus score 3 goals, you usually think, okay, that's a done deal. But obviously Parma with a superb fight back, Cristiano Ronaldo getting on the score sheet twice, once in the first half, courtesy of Matuidi's assist. Then he assisted Rugani for a goal in the second half and got on the score sheet via a Mario Mandzukic assist. Shoutouts to Manjo. But in the meantime, between the Rugani goal and the Ronaldo goal, Barilla pulled one back for Parma, and then it was the Gervinho show. Blast from the past. Captain Forehead.
Blast from Captain Forehead.
Yes, he's back. He scored 2 goals. Gervinho absolutely tearing it up this season for Parma. This is weird to say, but he's been great.
Can I just add?
Yeah.
Even after Juve dropped 2 points here, they're still 9 points clear of second place Napoli.
Yeah, I mean, Serie A, like pretty much every league, I guess this season, except for the Premier League, is pretty much done and dusted, and it's early February. But I wanted to add on Gervinho is that he has 8 Serie A goals in 16 appearances. For a winger, that's really, really good. And for a mid-table team like Parma, those goals have obviously been crucial for their league position, which is very, very far from the relegation zone where some people saw them coming into this season. So
yeah, they've done well.
Great result for them. Great resurgence from Parma. Glad to see them back in the Serie A after they've been thrown out to the 4th division of Italian football just 4 years ago. So 4 consecutive promotions for Parma, and now they're a stable mid-table team in Italy, and it's a great story.
Yeah. So that's it on our European League segment.
I think we need to add one more thing quickly. With Inter losing to Bologna, which was rather unexpected. They are now in quite a slide. In their last 3 games, they have drawn at home with Sassuolo, lost away to Torino, and lost at home to Bologna. Now, of course, the caveat is, I think 3 of those games, or rather the last 2 at home, were played with no crowd due to the ban for the racist chants toward Kalidou Koulibaly in the Napoli game.
Yeah.
And ever since that happened with their fans, Inter have sort of began a...
deteriorated.
They've begun a very big kind of slide here over the last couple of weekends.
Well, they're 20 points behind Juve.
Yeah, but even worse for them, Milan are now only 4 points off of their 3rd place position right now, and
Roma and Lazio 5.
Roma and Lazio 5 points, and Pazza Inter, or rather translated to Crazy Inter, have to face Parma away next week, and the pressure on Spalletti is mounting because Inter were expected to compete for the title this season, and Luciano Spalletti might get the sack if Inter's Champions League places come in peril, which obviously with their form right now, it could be very, very tight by the end of the season, and Spalletti might get the sack even before then because Inter have not played well given the money they've invested.
Could you imagine? Sorry to interrupt. Could you imagine if both Milan clubs missed out on Champions League?
I mean, it's not impossible. With Lazio and Roma, it's not impossible. But wanted to stress the Inter point for one reason and one reason only. Tony. Dan. Our friend Dan, your beloved Jose might be getting the bad signal from Inter. Your thoughts?
Wow.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's ridiculous, to be fair. I mean, I think he should go back to Chelsea, sack Sarri, hire Mourinho, and then we've got one less team to worry about in top 4 chase next season.
Well, you ain't got us to worry about, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'll take some time before we fix our problems, but Jose to Inter, I can definitely see it happening. It just smells like a Jose situation. It feels so perfect, so like this is it. Like you have Spalletti in there, who's kind of it's not gone well for him, and here comes Jose to save Inter in their Champions League season with his pragmatism. Anyway, those were the EuroLeagues, and now we're moving on to our signature segment, the rant battle. Rant.
He's bloody missed it! What a prat! What a prat! Pink boots! It's the pink boots! You look like a tin of salmon! You bloody idiots!
Battle.
Made him go in there, and he made him flip cheeseburgers. He made him
there we go.
He made him do something.
Whoa, hold on, Teddy.
But his character allowed him still to walk the guy down.
Wait a minute, Teddy.
Why? Because they know they don't have a leg to stand on, that's why!
This is beautiful. This is just beautiful.
Parading his butt with that fucking NFC Championship trophy.
I am sick and tired.
We're gonna start off with Tony, because you obviously went in on Adam pretty hard yesterday at Fan Park Live. You were pretty upset about the Arsenal result, of course, quick recap to people who don't know how this works yet. We pick a topic to rant about every week. It can be positive. It can be a negative rant. It can be whatever you want, but it's a topic we're obviously very, very passionate about, and we're all going to have our say in this segment, and then you guys can obviously rate us in the comments and share your feelings on our rants and on the podcast as well. Tony, kick us off.
Well, my rant this week, I think, is pretty obvious if you've seen Fan Park Live. It's about fans accepting mediocrity. Now, I don't know about you, but being in 6th place, having Manchester United, who are 1 point, 11 points behind us, now above us, in my opinion, out of the top 4 race, sorry. Wolves only 9 points behind us, and there's still fans in our fan base that are trying to see positives out of this. You're as much to blame. If you're seeing positives from this mess, you're as much to blame as the people that have caused this mess. Because if you're willing to accept mediocrity, then I'm pointing the finger at you. And I will continue to call out people like Adam and people that accept mediocrity until this changes. We all need to get together and do something about it. I do moan a lot because I care about my club and I want success. Now, if you settle for mediocrity, I'd rather you get out of our club. That's all I've got to say this week. I hope my points come across here because I'm sick of us meddling at 6th place and fans going making excuses. There are no excuses for this crap. I've had enough. End of.
Wow. That was absolute fire from Tony. Complete unleashed Tony in here. I love that. Dan,
it's true.
Your turn.
Now,
I'm just annoyed at all the Arsenal fans, really, who are now trying to banter us. Like, saying... It's annoying, because back when Josie was... Everyone was bantering us, saying, oh, you're 6th. And it's like, oh, no, then it's only Leicester, it's only Burnley, it's only... Well, to be fair, he drew with Burnley. They're just saying, no, it's only Tottenham. Well, it's only Arsenal for a start, but... I mean, it's annoying, because now we're 5th, everyone's like, oh, you're celebrating being 5th. It's like, yeah, considering where we were, we have a right to celebrate we're 5th. You were like 8 points away from us. You should be the ones like, hey, but no, they're all like saying, oh, why are you celebrating 5th? It's like a 6th, and we look closer to 7th than we did 5th, so, like, shut up and go back to your hole and cry.
Ooh. Man United fans are angry. I mean,
he's got a valid point, yeah, I must say.
Very, very valid point. And now it's time for me to make my valid point. Because I am absolutely infuriated with every single Arsenal fan that complained about us having negative tactics against Man City this weekend. I mean, what are you expecting with this squad? What are you expecting the manager to do? People saying, oh, he has to work with the squad. He has to improve them. This has to get better. I mean, where have you been the whole season? Where have you been the last 3 years with these shit defenders? Most of them have been here for 2, 3, or more years, and have played shit. For all of their tenure at Arsenal, they've been crap. And you expect us to go up to Man City, who are one of the best teams in Europe, and try to compete and go toe-to-toe? Like, I can't believe this. People complaining about, we didn't attack. Of course, Emery's not going to send us out to slaughter the way we were sent out against Liverpool. Like, this was all about damage control, and people, if you cannot see that the squad is not good enough at this moment to do anything other than damage control, then you're seriously deluded as a fan of Arsenal Football Club, because this squad at the present moment needs to be torn down and built back up, and it needs to be built back up in Emery's image. It's going to take time. It's going to take 3, maybe even 4 years before we can compete with a team like Manchester City, but that's just the reality of Arsenal right now. And unfortunately, because of Stan Kroenke's laziness and his continual employment of idiots like Gazidis and Dick Law and leaving Arsene Wenger completely stranded and structureless and no one able to challenge his authority on player evaluation has left us in this place where our squad is shit and we must not realistically expect to go toe-to-toe with a team like Manchester City, because if we try, it would have ended like the Anfield game against Liverpool. It would have been 5-1 by basically the 60th minute, and then just the last 30 minutes is just utter humiliation because we can't do anything. Like, Liverpool gave us the ball and we didn't do shit with it. That's my rant for this week. Just, people, be realistic. Lower your expectations. Understand where we are. It's a start of a new era. It's a start of a process. We need to be patient. Trust the manager. Keep hoping that the improvement of our young players continues. And let's just look ahead, because this season hasn't gone well for us, and let's just hope it gets better from here on, and trust Emery. That's all I can say.
On that note, I'd like to say we're now going to rate each other's rants. If the viewers would like to rate our rants, if you would like to tweet to @rant_boys,
yes,
and use the hashtag #rantbattle to rate each of our rants, it would be much appreciated, and we will respond to them. Follow, subscribe, share.
Yeah, we'll get some more content out on the Twitter. We have some ideas with some memes and some creative stuff we'll be sharing. We'll be a bit more active over Twitter in the coming weeks, so definitely tweet at us. Give us your thoughts on the podcast. We always appreciate feedback, whatever kind of feedback it is. Obviously, if people don't understand yet the name, why it is the Rant Boys, it's obviously because that's what we do best. We yell, we're very passionate, and it is very much self-deprecating. We're not serious pundits over here. We're just a bunch of guys,
regular
a bunch
guys.
A bunch of chums talking football.
And I think Alba hit the nail on the head. Like, if you've got any ideas, anything you'd like us to cover, anything you'd like us to see, like to see on the Rant Boys, then please do get in touch via YouTube comments, via Twitter.
Absolutely.
Anything. We'll definitely take all ideas into consideration and try and do the best content we can for our followers.
Absolutely. I'd like to rate you, Tony, with a 9 out of 10 for this rant. This was peak Tony. This was the best one so far. Like, this was even better than your Fan Park Collins. You just
appreciate that.
Full on fire. For Dan, I'd like to say, for the first time, I think he hit some great points from the Man United perspective. I'd say a solid 8 out of 10. I think he has some great rants still left in him, but for start, it's an 8 out of 10. Tony, your ratings?
I would like to give Dan a 7 out of 10. I think that was a great opening rant from you. I think your point was across. I think you made a lot of valid points. But I think for a first rant, I think it's a comfortable 7 out of 10. For Alba, I think an 8 out of 10. I do disagree with you on the fact. I do believe Emery did mess up a bit on the tactics. But regardless, I think your point was across. You made some valid points. So I'll give you an 8 out of 10. I would have given you 8.5, but as we said, we don't do half, so I'll give you an 8 out of 10.
True.
How are you going to rate our rants out of 10?
I'm going to rate both of you an 8, because you've both said both valid points. I mean, they're both kind of opposite. One of you saying Emery is like I mean, they're both about the fans, really.
Yeah.
But like, I think what you both say is spot on, because the fans need to. I mean, they're hating on, going on about the fans, kind of, well, deluded fans, let's just say. Like Adam.
And Ty and someone else on UFF.
Yeah, no names. It's spot on because it's fans like those which is causing Arsenal, like the higher authorities, thinking, "Oh, everything's fine. Let's just keep leaking." Like, there's no pressure on them because there's always fans backing them. They don't care about the fans. As long as there's some fans putting money into the club, it's fine. And then, so I'll give you around an 8. And then, same as you, Orba, I'd probably give you an 8 as well because, I mean, I don't blame Emery at all. It's the players.
Yeah.
So his tactics may be wrong at times, but his tactics were not wrong. Like, they work. But as long as you've got the players to kind of portray them, they work.
Yeah. My thing with that was more, and I think Tony and I can definitely agree on this. There's too few Arsenal fans in the middle, kind of, after games. There's always some sort of hysteria, whether it's positive or negative. It always seems to go either in extremely positive direction or the extreme negative. It's never.
I think Mo's an exception. Mo's the only one that pretty much sits on the fence and stays grounded, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd say I'd add Lee Gunner in there as well.
Yeah,
I definitely.
But generally, I'd agree with you. There's people. You're either one end of the spectrum or the other on opinions. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's kind of typical of our fan base. I don't see it a lot with other fan bases. With us, it's always we're either the best team in the world or we're absolute shit, like relegation fodder, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, now it's time to do Tony's favorite segment. Transfer news and some game previews will include as well. Tony, take us off with the transfers.
Well, first little transfer I'm going to go on today is there was a deal that was confirmed just before the transfer window closed last week. Peter Crouch has joined Burnley. What is your opinion on that, Albert and Dan?
Well, Crouchy, innit? I mean, I kind of don't get this Daishian approach to football. I mean, he already has, I think, like, I mean, he doesn't have 5 static target men, but he has Vokes. He has what's the name of the other guy? There's Vokes and there's what's his name? For fuck's sake!
I know who you're on about. Yeah.
The other lamppost. Anyway, he already has 2 lampposts. Why now get Crouch? I don't get it. They just I don't understand it.
It's a strange one for me. Very strange one. So that was basically the only one I've got this weekend for this week for the January.
Yeah.
The other 4 I've got are more to do with rumours linked with summer signings. So the big one is Hudson-Odoi. Bayern Munich have still not given up their pursuit of Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think inevitably he will end up a Bayern Munich player. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Anyway, before we move on, I found the other lamppost, Chris Wood.
Chris Wood,
that's him, the New Zealand international.
Well, answering Tony's question, I'm pretty sure, didn't Sally say that he's not going in the summer either?
He did say that, but I think inevitably, if Bayern Munich, they put in, I think the highest bid they put in January was a £40 million bid for him. I think inevitably, if Bayern Munich come along with a 45 or 50 million pound bid for him, I'm pretty certain Chelsea will cave in for a youngster as well who's inexperienced. And if Bayern were to come along with a £50 million bid, that'd be silly to say no, in my opinion.
But I think Colin Hudson-Odoi is a really, really talented young player, and I think long-term Chelsea should be looking to keep him. And he's a player that not only fits the registration rules that you need for UEFA competitions of the Premier League, he's also a brilliant talent who could definitely long-term replace Eden Hazard. At least in my opinion, he has the same kind of small center of gravity, quickness, agility, great ball control, can definitely, by the looks of it, play with both feet. He doesn't favor any of his feet, particularly. He's equally as good left or right.
It's funny how you mention Eden Hazard, because touching on that, I think the only chance by Chelsea have got on keeping Hudson-Odoi in the summer is if Hazard ends up at Real Madrid in the summer.
Yeah, I'd agree, but also, again, I'd rather keep Hudson-Odoi around, and I believe Hazard will go to Real Madrid, but I'd rather keep Hudson-Odoi around and sell both Willian and Pedro, with obviously Pulisic coming in.
Yeah.
And that would sort of be my wing rotation. At least, I mean, if I were Chelsea.
Yeah. The next point is a big one, and I'm not surprised about this one, but I think it's a talking point of the day. Juventus apparently are interested in Marcelo from Real Madrid. They could bid in the summer for £39.4 million for Marcelo. What are your thoughts?
I think that's ludicrous. I mean, I'm not quite sure. Marcelo's been around for quite a long time. I'm not
very
quite sure.
Experienced.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure what his age is. I know he's good mates with Ronaldo, and Juve do need a left back, kinda. I mean, Cancelo can play left back, but
Marcelo is 30. He's going to be 31 in May.
30.
He's 31 in May.
I don't know. I always kind of felt like he was older. Anyway.
Yeah.
Juventus may as well go after Bale and Benzema while they're at it.
But they do need a bit of pace and reinforcement in their defensive areas, and especially if they do three at the back, Marcelo would be a good wing back in my opinion.
Who are they going to buy next? Navas as well?
Goalkeeper Navas.
Yeah.
They got Szczesny though, and Szczesny seems to be doing a decent job for them.
Yeah. I mean, they got Szczesny and Mattia Perin, who's a young Italian goalkeeper they see as a future number one. So I don't believe Juve will look to upgrade the goalkeeper spot. But I mean, I think Marcelo would be a good fit for Juventus. Obviously, like I said, he's good mates with Ronaldo, but I think they need to put a priority on their midfield area. Then I think fullbacks, but I think 40 million for Marcelo is a bit high, but if they can get him for 20-25, he might be worth it.
Yeah, and there's a story come out of the Arsenal camp. Apparently, we're keeping tabs on Adrian Rabiot for the summer. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, based on his wage demands, that seems very much some sort of agent fabrication, agent spin right there, because he reportedly stalled on a 10 million per season or has some sort of preliminary agreement on about 10 million euro pre-tax with Barcelona for this summer. And for Arsenal, that's a ton of money. I mean,
it's funny you say that. My sources, as you know, my sources are telling me that Rabiot is obviously most likely going to end up at Barcelona, but we are heavily interested in Rabiot. My sources are telling me this.
I mean, of course we would. He would be a massive improvement on Granit Xhaka and would solve our sort of playmaker issue in central midfield for a very, very long time. We would definitely have a link between the defense and the attack with Rabiot, and someone who can work box to box, and he'd be a great signing. But I think we'd have to, for that to be facilitated, I think we'd have to sell Ozil and Xhaka in order to take on his wages and sort of pay him the signing bonuses and everything. And I just don't see how we can in the same summer dump both Ozil and Xhaka. I think one or the other will go, but I just don't see how in the same summer we can manage to sell them both. It just doesn't seem doable from a club administration standpoint, because you have to have negotiations, and you have to offer these players around, and unless we just like prepare before the summer and just tell both Ozil and Xhaka's agents you're no longer necessary at the club, we can't realistically expect to, I think, be in the game for Rabiot.
Yeah, and the last story, and it's probably good news for Dan and fellow Manchester United fans, Kalidou Koulibaly. We've heard a lot about his links to Manchester United. Initially was expected to cost at least £100 million, if not more. Apparently, Napoli are now willing to let him go for £87.5 million. This is what it's been reported. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it seems plausible for Man United, but I just don't know whether they should be going out for a center back rather than a fullback. Listen, I honestly, it makes more sense for Marcelo, in my opinion, to end up at Manchester United than to end up at Juventus.
Yeah.
Just me, but whoever is the manager, I think he'd much prefer to have an option to pick between Luke Shaw and Marcelo than Luke Shaw and Ashley Young.
Yeah.
I think that would be much smarter investment for Man United if they fix their fullback positions permanently this summer, and then, if need be, get a center back in, because I think Lindelof and Bailly, at least under Solskjaer, have looked really, really good. So to me, it's especially Lindelof. So, I mean, you could use a Koulibaly, but I'd rather splash 80 million on two quality fullbacks than on a Koulibaly, because I think if Man United can fortify sort of those fullback positions along with having a steady center back in Lindelof, I think they are a very, very scary team for the likes of Liverpool and City next season. I'm not convinced they will challenge, but they could definitely be around like Spurs are this season.
I agree. And that's all I've got this week for our transfer segment.
Anyway, guys, that's been it for the transfer segment. Dan unfortunately had to dip a bit early, but we'll surely get his thoughts on the Koulibaly rumors at some point. I mean, before the summer transfer window. So I think he doesn't mind any of these defensive rumors, because obviously Man United do need some help defensively. But before we leave you guys for the week, I'd just like to point out a couple of games that will definitely be interesting on the weekend. Starting off with a very, very tantalizing game on Saturday, where it's in Spain, the Madrid derby. Atletico Madrid currently second place, 2 points ahead of Real Madrid in third. It could be a very, very interesting game.
At the Metropolitano as well, Real Madrid playing away.
It will definitely be a fine test for whether Real Madrid have made any kind of progress under Solari or not.
Yeah.
That's one game. Liverpool will be playing at home against Bournemouth.
And also in the Italian league as well, Inter Milan travelling to Parma.
Yeah, that should be an interesting game for Inter and Fiorentina Napoli. Maybe you're interested in that one. Fiorentina did completely demolish Roma in midweek in the Coppa Italia. 7-1 that game finished. Federico Chiesa scored a hat-trick. Brilliant player. Great winger. A couple of teams in the Premier League could definitely use him, but he's going to be very, very expensive. Kostas Manolas had a absolutely awful game along with the rest of the Roma defense, and he doesn't look value for money. When people said his release clause of about £35 million was cheap, or rather would be cheap this summer, I disagree with that. I don't think he's that level of defender. I think he's very up and down in terms of form.
Yeah,
so
inconsistent.
Yeah, he's not the most reliable center back ever. Of course, one of the more interesting matchups is the relegation battle. Southampton at home against Cardiff. If Cardiff can get a result there, they would definitely cause more trouble to the likes of Burnley, Southampton, of course, who they're playing, and Newcastle in 15th. Burnley, Southampton, and Newcastle all on 24 points. Cardiff on 22. Crystal Palace 26. And Brighton are still... I mean, they're not in it, but they are on 27 points, and they're not fully mid-table. And they're playing...
I think if Brighton do win that game, I think Brighton are surely safe.
Yeah, if they win against Burnley, I think they will pretty much guarantee themselves a easy task. Just maintain some semblance of form until the end of the season, and they will stay up. Good job by Chris Hughton, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, two big games on Sunday in the Premier League: Tottenham, Leicester, kicking it off, and then Man City against Chelsea. Man City playing at home. I think Chelsea might see a similar type of punishment likes of which Arsenal have gotten from Man City. Obviously, it would spice up the top four race further if Manchester City could deliver some punishment on Chelsea in that game.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much it. On Monday, there is the Wolves-Newcastle game, but that's, I think, obviously Newcastle are still trying to wriggle themselves out of the relegation battle, but I think Rafa, being 15th on 24 points, I think this is a game where I think they'll get a point, and I think they'll move slowly but surely until the end of the season. They'll move up to 12th, 13th maybe. I think they'll consolidate themselves.
Yeah. And that is it all this week to our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. If you can, we'd like you to subscribe, share, and like our content on YouTube. We'll be coming back with these videos every Monday, and also to follow us on Twitter at the @rant_boys. Send all your suggestions, ideas for future podcasts, and a big shout out to the Ultimate Football Fan who has helped us and powered us, and also to the Fan Park Live who have helped to advertise the Rant Boys.
Yeah, definitely big shout outs to Jay, the Ultimate Football Fan Discord community. Join the discussion. The link is in the description. Join the server. It's a lot of fun. You get to talk football not just with us, but with fans all around the world with different perspectives. All of them passionate fans. It's great banter. It's very loose, relaxed. It's not something where you have to be careful about your language necessarily like Twitter. That's why it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more of a playground platform, and it's definitely great fun if you like good banter. Again, shout outs to Jay and Terry from Ultimate Football Fan for helping us out and inspiring us.
We appreciate it.
And inspiring
shout
us.
Shout out to both of them.
Yeah. Inspiring us to start this thing. Follow us on Twitter. The link will be provided in the description. And please share the word if you like the podcast. We definitely need your help when it comes to subscribers and listeners. And if you want to listen offline, of course, there's the Dropbox link for a free download. So if you don't have data on your phone, you can just dip into the Dropbox link and download for free.
Yes.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening to the Rant Boys podcast. We'll catch you later next week. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.